It is 3:30 in the morning, and I'm making this video um, because I love researching and finding information out. And, yes, medical um, information, but also other people's experience. So I've been dealing with long COVID symptoms. Uh, I've had COVID first in November of 2020 and then again July of 2022. And one of the symptoms that I've had ever since November of 2020 is the mucus. There was just so much increased production of mucus when I had COVID, and that just never went away. I have less, um, but it never went away. So I've been seeing my doctor. I've gone to an allergist thinking maybe it's like allergy related. I have no allergies according to the tests, but I have all these symptoms still. And so um, I'm taking antihistamines, nasal sprays. I take over the counter Mucinex, and it doesn't clear it up. It maybe sometimes helps, but so I slept for about an hour and a half, which is, I wouldn't say typical. I just have not good sleeping uh, habits, and some of it is because I can't breathe. And it's not that I can't breathe because all the things, but it's because I have this mucus. It makes it really hard to swallow and breathe at the same time, so sleeping is hard. And my doctors, they want to try everything, except I have not gone to an ENT. Now, I have had my doctors, a couple of them recommend that. So I've been doing a lot more research, and there is a thing called Laryngopharyngeal Reflux, or LPR for short. And it is a type of like GERD or acid reflux that doesn't necessarily cause symptoms of heartburn or anything like that, because I don't have that. But one of the symptoms that it does cause is like this increased mucus production, feeling of like there's something always in your throat. And it can then affect the sinus cavities and nasal passages, and present as though it's allergic rhinitis. Because I have like the sneezing still, a lot of sneezing and coughing, basically a whole lot of the symptoms that I had with COVID, but without having COVID. Like I don't have the fever or the sore throat necessarily. And so I did have the allergy testing from my allergist, and it came back that I'm allergic to nothing. And so I'm taking, the standard allergy medicine and a couple of nasal sprays, and I'm still having all the symptoms. So clearly, none of that works. And so she had recommended sending me to an ENT. Now, I still haven't gotten that referral for some reason, so I am going to follow up on that later on today when the doctor's office are open. But, whether I had this form of acid reflux before I had COVID, which I feel like maybe I did because I've had symptoms like this. It's just gotten way worse since COVID, like a lot worse. Or if it just happened, I don't know. But I thought I would just share that because if anybody is dealing with symptoms of long COVID or just strange symptoms that you don't know what would have caused it, like this has just been a journey. But what I've been learning is just like acid reflux, like traditional um, uh, causes, and besides medication, there are natural things that you can try, which is what I like to do. I do not like to take medicine unless I absolutely have to. Is diet modification. So the foods that people who have, and I say people who have acid reflux, I maybe have that, I don't know. I don't have the traditional symptoms of that. So people who would have that traditional symptoms, maybe they would know, stay away from spicy foods, don't eat like citrus. There's a list of things. And so those are also foods to eliminate if you're having LPR for short, but it's also called silent reflux because it doesn't traditionally present like acid reflux. However, that is or can be what's causing these symptoms that seem like allergy, the mucus production, post-nasal drip, all the things could be acid reflux, which I never would have thought. And so I'm going to try the elimination diet, which is, it's going to be very hard for me because it recommends no coffee. I say that out loud. I have no idea how I'm actually going to do this. No caffeine, no sodas, tea. Probably you could have caffeine-free tea, but no caffeine. Chocolate, peppermint, spicy foods, citrus. So those are the things that I can try until I can actually get into an ENT and they can find out if that's what I have, in which case they would probably still recommend the elimination diet. And in some cases, they do have some medications that would address it, but medications come with side effects. So we're going to try that. Oh, most important thing, probably most important thing for me, because while I'm awake trying to think why are my symptoms worse tonight than they were, say, last night, because I ate something before I went to bed, like very shortly, and because I don't have traditional symptoms of reflux, that it never bothers me. It wasn't until this morning at 1 o'clock that I started thinking, I wonder if it's something I ate, which has never dawned on me before, because why would it, right? Because I do have the symptoms all day long, all the time. It's worse at nighttime when I'm trying to sleep because I'm aware of it more. And I'm trying to lay down and all the things. And it's possible. So one of the things is don't eat within 2 to 3 hours of going to bed. And when I don't eat 2 to 3 hours before going to bed, I think I have the less symptoms. I'm able to sleep. I'm not having having to clear my throat, feeling like I can't breathe. I know that I can, but all those things. So that's the other thing it recommends, having small meals throughout the day, and your biggest meal at midday or even the morning, and then not eating 2 to 3 hours before bed. So I'm talking this out, one, for myself, but two, I cannot be the only one that is still dealing with these types of symptoms. And maybe even if you didn't have COVID, this is a thing that you can get, that people can have and not realize. And it can be presenting like allergies. And I've never heard this ever in my life until I started researching it. So it's called silent reflux. The longer official term is Laryngopharyngeal Reflux, or LPR for short. So I will keep you updated as to how the elimination diet works, but I think you got to be on it for like a month. I really don't know how I'm going to do no coffee for a month. Wish me luck.